Commercial farmer Westphalia Fruit at Tzaneen in Limpopo says it will accelerate the production of avocado at its operations following the signing of the export agreement between South Africa and China. The two governments signed a pact for the promotion of access to markets in China. That agreement was signed during the BRICS meeting in Johannesburg. SABC News reporter Katlego Nyoni and senior video journalist Hulisano Livhebe bring us this report.
Local avocado producers trading in domestic markets as well as some global markets in the European Union as well as in the UK anticipate sector growth as well as wider access to markets. This, of course, follows the signing of SA and China export agreements in the recently concluded 15th BRICS summit. Now, growers anticipate that the agricultural commodity, that is the avocado, will see more demand, particularly in the Chinese market. Now, Westphalia Fruit represents half of all the avocado that is exported out of South Africa's shores. We are joined today by Zach Bud, who is an executive manager at Westphalia Fruit. Now, the company is responsible for half of the avocado produce that gets exported out of South African shores. Just to get their reaction following that summit. Thank you for joining us on SABC News, Zach. First of all, your reaction to the news of the signing of these new agreements between South Africa and China.
Well, it's a fantastic and amazing historic milestone for the South African industry to get market access to China. And we're really looking forward to developing and growing that market in the future to something special. So avocados are something relatively new. They've only been growing or grown commercially for about 70 or 80 years, so it's a pretty new product. So just like we did in Europe 20, 30 years ago, we had to go and tell the consumer about avocados, the health benefits and the convenience. And I think now that the market is open, and we're very, very grateful to the President, the Minister of Agriculture, all the government stakeholders that have opened this market. Now it's over to us to go and develop this market and grow it into something special. And it's no doubt that Asia, where you have about 60% of the world's population, China being a big part of that, with the right market development programs, we can grow China into something that's really, really special and a big market. If we look at where Europe's come from, Europe 25 years ago was about 120,000 tons. With market development, it's grown into a size of almost 900,000 tons on an annual basis, and it continues to grow. China is a relatively small market at this stage. There's other Latin American countries that have the opportunity to go to China, so we're absolutely thrilled that South Africa can join them and continue to grow this market for the future, for something really special.
And of course, we've seen that, of course, Westphalia Fruit is already familiar with some of the vibrant Chinese markets, and you are anticipating to penetrate some of these markets. What type of additional support do you require? You've already expressed your gratitude to government's agriculture and agro-processing master plan, of course, there by the Minister of the sector, Toko Didiza. What sort of additional support do producers and growers require?
Well, I think it's important that we grow the market now through market development, and we streamline our logistics and ports and everything in South Africa to be competitive with, and big players, important players in those markets. And we look forward to the support of everybody to do that.
And looking into the future, of course, we know that our government, as well as its partner in this regard, that is the Chinese government, are anticipating that there will be domestic economic growth, fueling, of course, growth in this sector in particular, as well as others that are part of that export agreement. Are we expecting this growth to be exponential in a short term? And are we looking at, more increased, value chain participation?
Sure. I think it's going to take time, for the market to grow. And as the market grows, that's when you're going to see more development in avocados and growing more of avocados and, as you say, more value chain participation from everybody. So, the market is there. Now we need to grow it. That takes a little bit of time. There's a bit of a lead time, but good things will come out of it without any doubt. It's fantastic.
Zach, thank you very much for your time with SABC News today. That is the executive manager at Westphalia Fruit, Zegbad, saying that they have received the news of the signing of this agreement between South Africa and the Chinese government in a positive light, and they are anticipating that the sector will grow and that they will penetrate these Chinese markets. Of course, saying that this will take time and they will require also additional support. We know that, for example, according to Subtrop, the estimated annual average growth in this sector in the past 3 years stood at more than 130,000 tons, of which 45% of the tons produced locally was exported mainly to Europe as well as the UK, whereas the rest was consumed domestically, and 10% of course processed for things such as oil and puree.